Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's get ready to suck up! And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for ya! What the rock is cooking!
You just made the list!
Put on that seatbelt, everybody. It's time for a drive-by. Near Fall Nation. Say hello to the bald guy. Shooter here, and it's a new day. Yes, it is. Welcome to the Near Fall Network, and welcome to the premiere episode of Drive-By with Shooter on the Near Fall Network. Now, I've been doing this show for, I lost count, but 17 or 18 weeks, so technically, I think this is technically episode 18. We missed last week because of some fallout on the old page, and some things went down, and we're going to touch on that, and we're going to handle it tactfully and just explain to you guys what exactly went down and why we're here, and we are the elitist, and we are a part of the Near Fall Network, and you all are the Near Fall Nation. So it's a changeover. We're going to hit some major growing pains. You know, I'm recording this podcast knowing that nobody may listen to it because our YouTube channel is not even published yet. So it's a labor of love at this point, and hopefully it grows, and hopefully you guys grow with us. I'm going to change a little bit of things. If you're a fan of Drive-By, I'm going to change up some of the things I do here. I'm going to try to make this a little bit shorter and more concise. I'm going to take some of the ads out that I used to put in there just to keep it shorter and concise, because I'm going to spread the word on all our shows that we have going on Facebook Live and on our YouTube channel in a different way. And I just want you guys to enjoy listening to me talk about wrestling and give you news, insight, and opinion on the week that was in the world of professional wrestling, mostly WWE. That is my area of expertise. I'm not going to talk to you about stuff that I'm not an expert on. That's why we have different guys working on a page. That's why King of Nerds will talk to you about New Japan and Ring of Honor, because he watches it constantly. I just kind of watch from the outside because I don't even have time to consume the WWE product that I want to consume, let alone something else. So, you know, I am going to be out front and honest with you. Everybody likes different things, and I think that's awesome. And that's one of the things I love about professional wrestling, is that there is something for everybody. Not everybody likes everything, and that's okay. Where I have my problem, if you listen to my show, is with constant complaining. And obviously, again, that's what people do. We're in the world of me, and complaining. But it's the stupid stuff. And I point that out. It's kind of my thing. I have a new segment. I did an audio form of it on my original show, and I will be posting that segment on this page as well. But I hope and plan to do that and bring that to a video format for you guys. It's tongue in cheek, but I agree with what I'm saying in it, but I'm doing it in a funny way, so in a more aggressive way to bring a little bit of humor to the talk, and that is a segment called Keeping It Classy. I also plan on extending Keeping It Classy from wrestling into other things, movies, music, TV shows, things like that. I plan, if you're a Walking Dead fan, I plan on doing a Keeping It Classy Walking Dead edition It'll be interesting because if you listen to any podcast regarding Walking Dead or pay attention to any social media regarding Walking Dead, you know that it's one of the most, if not the most popular show on cable TV, but everybody that you see that talks about it hates it, and it makes no sense to me. So that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother show. We're here to talk about wrestling, folks, and I'm going to bring something up real quick that drives me nuts, and it's kind of along the same lines of that, but it's a little different. This week, Dave Crosby, of Crosby, Stills, and Nash fame, who really is, I mean, you made contributions, I'll give you that, but you haven't done anything relevant in at least, I don't know, 2 decades that I can recall, maybe 3 decades, I don't know. For whatever reason, sent out a tweet, and I'm paraphrasing, but it basically said something along the lines of, last time I checked, and here's the bonus points, last time I checked, WWF stands for Words with Friends, not wrestling. So, like, was this a vague dig at professional wrestling? Because that's how the wrestlers took it. That's how the fans took it. The universe of the WWE took it. Matt Hardy jumped right on him, called him obsolete mule. Went into it with him. I saw that Jericho, I'm not going to paraphrase all these tweets that he got, but it brings me back to the Kings of Leon basis, who also said something along this line. And again, this was a while ago, I can't remember it, but basically said something about, how about grown-ups don't watch professional wrestling anymore, or something along those lines. Unprovoked, no reason to say it, and of course, he gets heat upon heat and people calling him out. Of course, he has to go, oh, it was just a joke. Yeah, it's a joke because you didn't realize, because you obviously know nothing about professional wrestling, that you just pissed off a major, passionate fan base. A fan base so passionate that I'm sitting here recording a podcast on a network that may get 0 views because I love doing this. That's how passionate this fan base is. And what I don't understand, whether it's celebrity or not, is being so anti-anything. Being so anti-wrestling. You know, and it's not even like, it can come into real life. I have a friend who, you know, growing up, we all used to get together and watch wrestling, and we had, you know, in high school, I grew up in the period of the Attitude Era and the Monday Night Wars, and it was freaking awesome. And wrestling was one of the biggest things. You were cool if you watched wrestling back then. And we had Monday Night Raw parties every Monday. We got together, like, anywhere from 5 to 10 of us, and watched professional wrestling. And watched, basically, Monday Night Raw. We would flip to Nitro and sometimes see, or, like, some of the guys didn't care for Nitro, so we only watched Raw, and that was fine, because I taped it, basically, to see what the NWO was doing, because, let's face it, that was the coolest thing going on in WCW. But said friend was a part of this group, never really liked wrestling. He was just there to be the cool guy that, you know, to get the cool rub off of wrestling that you got at that time. You know, it's kind of reverted, and it's not quite like that anymore. But at that time, you were cool if you watched pro wrestling, and if you knew who The Rock and Stone Cold and Triple H and all those people were. Now, same friend now will rip on wrestling and goof on me if I talk about it, this, that, and the other, which, yeah, I let it roll off my back. I could care less. But his argument always comes down to, well, it's fake, bro. It's fake. Okay. And I look at him and say, well, do you watch Marvel movies? Yeah. Okay, so you like comic book movies? Yeah. Well, you watch The Walking Dead, right? Yeah. You watch Game of Thrones, right? Yeah, they're awesome. Guess what? They're all fake, dude. It's all scripted entertainment. So why you have a problem with anybody watching it is beyond me. Like, I don't like the Real Housewives shows. My wife watches them. They do absolutely nothing for me. I'm almost 100% sure that at least 94 to 96% of that crap is scripted. And people watch it as reality television, and they're okay with it. Now, do I sit and I call someone out and say, well, this is stupid, why do you watch it? No, I don't care. Watch it. It doesn't affect me, because I don't have to watch it. You know, if my wife's watching it and I don't feel like dealing with it, I might play on my phone or, you know, play with my son or go do something else because I don't want to watch it. But I'm not going to sit there and badger her the whole time she's watching it. It makes no sense. And if she talks about it and tells me that something's going on, it means something to her, so I'll listen. I might not understand it, and it doesn't affect me, but I'll listen because I love my wife, and it's something that entertains her. So, like, when people attack other people's forms of entertainment, it doesn't make sense to me. You might not like a certain kind of music. I don't like country music, and I do bag on it a little bit. I'll say that. But at the same time, you can like country music, and I don't have to like country music. I like heavy metal music. I like rock music. I like some rap music. And admittedly, there is some country that I like. But at the same time, I like pop music. I like all kind of music, but I have my favorites. I'm not going to sit there and make fun of you for liking a certain style of music when you don't like another style. I may pick on your band choice, but that's all in good-natured ribbing, and I always joke around with that. But I'm not going to sit there and I'm not going to send a tweet out and just say, this band is horrible, for no reason at all. Now, Kings of Leon bassist found out the hard way, like I said, and apologized. That band, in my opinion, is horrible, and that's a whole nother story. This might even be a good topic for keeping it classy, if I'm really thinking about it. But the bottom line is, there's no point in attacking someone else's favorite form of entertainment, especially when it's unprovoked. If you want to have a conversation about it, and it's brought up, then I guess there's more of a fair game for this, but both of these tweets that I'm talking about today, and you can find them, I'm sure they're out there. If they've been deleted, then I'm sure someone screenshotted them. Just search it, you'll find it. I don't understand the unprovoked attack on professional wrestling or anyone else's favorite form of entertainment. It just doesn't make sense to me, especially for a celebrity, because you reach a lot more people, and if you're a famous person, there's a good chance that a fan of yours is a fan of something else. I'm just saying. People don't just usually stick to one thing. So there's a good chance that someone who follows you as a celebrity is going to read the tweet that you just sent out that bashes something else that they love. And they might love that something else more than they love you. Is it worth it just for whatever reason, to piss a group of people off that could possibly be a group that's also committed to liking your stuff and following your stuff? It's never added up to me. And I do love, as much as, you know, the wrestling community's funny, because you'll see guys who hate the WWE and it's all like, oh, New Japan, Ring of Honor, that's the way to go. You have people who hate Ring of Honor, oh, that's crap. You know, crap wrestling, it doesn't mean anything, blah, blah, blah. Same with New Japan. And, I mean, TNA, you can go on. And then there's people who like it all, which is great. There's people who like it all but can't watch everything. There's people who focus on the one they like the most but don't hate the other. And it's a balance, but here's where it gets crazy. When you attack professional wrestling, it doesn't matter what form of it you attacked. If you're a fan of professional wrestling, you're going to defend professional wrestling against an outsider who doesn't like it. And that, my friends, is the beauty of this crazy thing we all love. Hi, spotters. We're going to continue. Stay tuned. It's going to get interesting. I promise you. Be right back with you. Welcome back, Earphone Nation. I want to go into, I don't want to call it quite fantasy booking, just I want to throw some things out there on the table. Now, if you've listened to my show in the past, I don't pull any punches. I'm a WWE guy through and through. That's what I grew up on. I watched WCW for the NWO and the Monday Night Wars. That was about it. Now, I was a big ECW fan. They were number 2 in my book. That's about it. So currently when it comes to things like New Japan or Ring of Honor, I have a loose base knowledge of what's going on just from what I see online and what I hear from, the likes of King of Nerds. King of Nerds, that's kind of his specialty. He follows that stuff way closer than I ever could hope to. So I don't want to talk out of school, but I've never pulled any punches and said that I know everything about that stuff. I don't. I know WWE, but I also know who the Young Bucks are, and obviously I know the Bullet Club and the Elite. And this is what brings me to their little hashtag of FTR, which stands for F the Revival. And of course, seeing the Twitters of these two teams, the Young Bucks and the Revival, and the back and forth that these guys do with each other, it's quite frankly genius. It's entertaining. It's so much fun. And I love that this kind of stuff is allowed. I love that the interaction between professional wrestlers from one company to another on social media or anything like that, I mean, it's not being stopped. It's not being stopped by Vince. I would almost guarantee that Ring of Honor New Japan does not care at all and probably likes that their guys are associating with guys in a top company, because all in all, it kind of makes it look like they're a top company as well. But this whole hashtag FTR, F the Revival, I'm not sure where it started, but I'm thinking probably on Being the Elite, the web show that the Elite does. The Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, a bunch of the other Bullet Club members are in these shows, but they're fantastic for one. If you've never watched Being the Elite, I'm just now getting on board, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I've been there since day one, but what I'm seeing so far is a lot of fun, and it's very, very, very entertaining. Now, with this whole rivalry going between the Revival and the Young Bucks, there is so much money on the table with this. The Young Bucks are regarded as one of the best tag teams currently wrestling in the world right now, and the Revival are hugely popular. They're a new team, but they have so much steam and so much power behind them, and they work for the big boys. They work for WWE. I'm telling you, if there was a way to agree to some kind of dream match at that current time, at the current state of the world of professional wrestling within all these universes, the WWE universe, Ring of Honor, New Japan, if there was a way to bring these two teams together and have a super fight, a dream match, whatever you want to call it, be it at WrestleMania, Wrestle Kingdom, whatever, dear God, the amount of money, attraction, and eyeballs this would pull. I mean, you'd have to think that New Japan would be all for it, and I'm sure that Vince would not. But, imagine the eyeballs that would bring, this match would bring just to New Japan and Ring of Honor alone. The WWE eyeballs. Now, that's where Vince would shy away from it, because he doesn't want to pull eyes away from his product. And I get that. But at the same time, he's a businessman. And when there's money on the table, it's hard to deny and hard to not at least think about it. And I know this kind of thing went on with the Hardys, the Broken Hardys, when they were in TNA, and they challenged the Young Bucks, they challenged New Day, they challenged tag teams from all the different organizations and federations, and some of them were allowed to go compete. Of course, New Day was not. But could you imagine, these kind of things we're in a weird time with professional wrestling where, we're seeing the interactions online. For crying out loud, in the last episode of Being Elite, we had AJ Styles and Kevin Owens on screen, and not only did we have Sami Zayn on screen, but he actually popped in the camera and asked Nick and Matt Jackson a question. I don't remember what the question was, but asked them a direction or something like that, and he just walked off screen. It's the fact that this is being allowed, there's no discipline, it's okay. This is awesome. I actually remember a while back when Kevin Owens was Universal Champ and Adam Cole was Ring of Honor Champ, and they were in a hotel room each of them sitting on a bed with their title belts around their waist. one Ring of Honor champ, one Universal champ, and they sent a picture out with a funny caption, something like just two guys with their championship belts or something like that. But it's fun to see the interaction because all these guys know each other. A lot of them have worked together before, and they have a friendship and a kinship because they're brothers in arm, as I've talked about before. They do the same thing. They work together. They train together. They might not compete together, but they've all been down the same road, and just some of them have led to a different path. So the idea that there could be some kind of super fight dream match between the Revival and the Young Bucks is it's a wrestling mark's dream. And I, for one, would love to see it. I'm not going to hold my breath that we're ever going to see it in some kind of cross-promotional super fight. But, I have a feeling the Revival is going to be in the WWE for a very long time. They haven't even really gotten started considering all the injuries they keep facing. So as long as they can get back on track and get their feet underneath them, they're going to have a long run in the WWE. So do the Young Bucks ever make that jump? I don't know. If that's the only way we get this, then I'd love to say yes. Yes, they will, but I've heard that they've been offered contracts and turned them down. So, ball's probably in their court. Will we see it? I'm not sure, but it's a dream match of WrestleMania proportions. Guys, I'm going to wrap this up here real quick. Hang tight. We'll be right back. Nearfall Nation, I want to kind of wrap the show up with a little thing that might be a little silly, a little topic that I just noticed this on through the week, and I had mixed feelings about it. Earlier in the week, The Rock sent a video out over his Instagram saying that he was upgrading the Brahma Bull tattoo. Now, this might sound silly to some people, but especially us longtime fans who have been fans forever, kind of came up watching The Rock through the Attitude Era. That Brahma Bull tattoo that he has on his arm is kind of his thing. It's his logo. It's literally what he prints on his shirts and on his trunks. It's the equivalent of the Goldberg tribal band tattoo that Goldberg had on his shoulder. I legit have a buddy that got the Goldberg tattoo on his arm in high school. Oh, that's embarrassing now, but at the time, that was cool as shit. And the Brahma Bull on The Rock is kind of the equivalent to that, and The Rock's hands down a bigger star than Bill Goldberg, so again, it's a bigger deal. At least it is to me. So as of Friday, he sent out the picture of the completed tattoo, and it's a badass tattoo. The cover up on the Brahma Bull, and it's a bull. It's not the Brahma Bull. It's not what we're used to. It's a badass tattoo. But I really have mixed feelings on this, and I'm not sure how I feel about the fact that The Rock covered up such an iconic piece of art. I saw, and I'm sorry I can't give credit, but I read a tweet or something that somebody said there may never be a bigger star with a more iconic logo or tattoo that they covered up. And that's hard to argue. The Rock is probably the most famous person in Hollywood at this time. Probably one of the most in-demand actors, and probably fetches one of the highest fees for acting. And that is his logo. That is his image, and he changed it. And while the tattoo he put on over top of the Brahma Bull is badass, it's not the tattoo we all know and love. So, I guess I'm just saying I'm kind of torn on this. I'm all for moving forward, but there's some things that I just don't like to have messed with, and for some reason, the Rox Brahma bull tattoo kind of bothers me that he covered it up. But it's his body, it's his life, it's his choice, and he's a Rock, and it does not matter what I think. Nearfall Nation, thanks for tuning in to the debut episode of Drive By with Shooter on the Nearfall Network. We got a lot of things planned for you guys, a lot of things that you're used to, and a few new things up our sleeve. Just stick with us. Please like our Facebook page, follow our Facebook page, subscribe here on YouTube. It's going to be where a lot of new stuff is going to be found, and we really got to push this and get our numbers back because we want to take over our old spot. It's been real. It's been fun. We'll catch you next week.